Hi, I'm Katie and welcome to another bookish adventure. Today we're doing my October wrap up and I have 3 books to talk to you about. The first, Bleeding Violet by Dia Reid. So this was my first reread of the month. I read this so long ago. I think the book came out in like 2001 and I read it shortly after. So it's been a while since I picked this up. The general premise of it, I did still remember the generalness of it. Hannah, who has mental health issues, after her dad dies, goes to stay with her mum, who she's never met before, and her mum lives in this weird ass town in Texas where there are monsters, there are doors that lead to other worlds, other places, other monsters, and it is her struggling to basically get her mum to agree to let her stay and try and fit in with this crazy town, and just, yeah, the weirdness of the town in itself. I was very unsure. I kept wavering between 4.5 and 5 stars for the rating. I originally gave it 5 stars, and I think kind of for nostalgic reasons I did keep it at its 5 stars, and I think that has to do with the fact of this was such an original and different story for me. I had never read anything like this. It was just insane. There are no better way to put this. Hannah and her mental health issues aside, like, because that's a whole crazy ballpark, and her attitude on outlook on life is one thing, but the town is just bonkers, and just everything is just bonkers is the only way I can put it. And yeah, I just remember when I read it the first time I was like, oh my god, like what? And then reading it the second time I was still like, yep, still just as crazy I remember, and still just as good. I did do reading vlogs. It will be the first couple of October, so you can catch up on all my thoughts and what I felt whilst I was rereading it. The second book I also read, A Slice of Cherry. I want to say a sequel to Bleeding Violet, but they're not like direct sequels, they're just set in the same universe, whereas this one is 2 sisters who live in the town. So if you were gonna read these, I would say read Bleeding Violet first. It introduces you to the town, whereas this book is more about the sisters and they happen to live in this crazy town. Like, there is not much explanation about the town. The way it's written, unfortunately, because you don't have to read these together, it doesn't matter if you've ever read that one, it doesn't matter. The only problem is if you went in and read this, there is so little explanation about the town. The way that the doors are talked about and the monsters are talked about, it's like it's totally normal, and there is just zero kind of reference in it. This book focuses on Fancy and Kit, who are like their dad, killers, but they are trying the best way not to get caught. I still kept this as 5 stars. Again, it's just so unlike anything I've read, and it's something I didn't realise, which I said in my reading vlog last week. I never really realised the first time around that this was a coming of age story. I was always very aware that, you know, the point of this book was them trying to figure out their own identities because they are so together and so one person. It is sort of what happens when you start to pull away from each other, or when one sister pulls away from the other, and sort of finding who they are and acceptance of who they are. And because they, you know, they're very happy to go around killing, and that's what their dad did. It's a really weird story, but it is so good. It's a lot of murder, I will say this now, but it's not like gross and it's not like gory, so it's fine. So it was like my level. I have since found out that she's written another 2 books based in the same universe. I'm all about that. I definitely want to give them a try. I love the town. There's just so much more I want to know about the town, and so much more I want to know about the residents, because I feel like, you know, this is obviously a town which has normal people in it, but I feel like there will also be people potentially who are monsters as well, who are trying to hide that side of them, and I just feel like there is so much that can kind of come from this town. The last 2 books that have been written, I'm aware that they've been written a lot more recently, I think as early as 2018, whereas yeah, these first 2 were really kind of way back, so I definitely want to delve back into them. The final book I read, The Shining by Stephen King. So I read my first Stephen King and first horror book. I don't know if I would class this as a horror book, I don't know. I gave this book 3 stars if I remember rightly. It was a difficult one for me, I won't lie. For me, it felt kind of structurally imbalanced. It was very much of a slow burner, and I'm fine with that. I'm happy with slow burners, because the first half of the book meant that we got a lot of character detail and character development and past background, and I love that because I wasn't expecting it. So it just really added to who these people are, and then added to the changes that then happened, especially with Jack, the man who goes crazy with the axe. So I say axe, it's not an axe in the book, it's like a croquet mallet, but it's a different game. It's called Rock or something. Anyway, once stuff starts to happen, once stuff actually happens and he really does go crazy, it is so good. And the back half of the book really flew by because I was like, oh my god, and I was sat there and I was cringing because like of the things he was saying and wanting to smash their heads in and wanting to kill his son. It really did make me just like and just, I mean, oh my god, he goes at his face with that mallet at one point and I'm just sat there like, I've never had a book give me that kind of reaction before. I was really squirming. So I did really enjoy this, and I have a weekly reading vlog which covers the final part of this book, and I basically do give like a book review on it, and I do a bit of a sort of comparison and summary against the film and sort of pros and cons and all that stuff. So having read The Shining, I have now decided I do want to try and read more sort of psychological thrillers and yeah, suspense and general thriller. I don't mind a bit of murder and the sort of the horror, supernatural, paranormal element, like that's fine, but like I am not going to be picking like books that are, you know, horror genre, because it is something I really love to watch. You know, anything suspense, anything criminal, just anything like that is something I really enjoy reading. I love a psychological thriller, so I feel like I need to start branching out into something a bit different. Maybe I can read me another Stephen King. I'm definitely going to read Dr. Sleep. I will do that next Halloween. I definitely do want to read it because it will be good to kind of just get that extra bit, and my colleague at work who made me read that has said that it is a really good read and it is worth it because you just get so much more. So let's talk November. We're in November. Can we also just say we're in freaking November? It is actually the 2nd today that I am filming this. So the first book, I've started it, that's why I'm saying the first book I want to read, Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. Yes, we are going back to the Throne of Glass series. It feels like I haven't read this series in forever, when in reality I think it was September. I am kind of on the fence with this. Don't get me wrong, I'm so looking forward to getting back into this, but the size, I am kind of put off. It's like 600 and something pages long, and it is nothing, like, don't get me wrong, I've read a big book before, like I've read Harry Potter, like this isn't a problem. The problem for me is just right now, I think where my headspace is, I'm just not in a place where I'm like, yeah, let's read this. I think that is the problem, just with the way work is. You know, we're coming up to Christmas, deliveries are getting bigger, we've lost a member of staff, we've had nearly 2 months solid of it just being horrendous and getting no help. I start at 6 in the morning and I finish at 2:30. We're not going for lunch until like 12. We're doing like 6 hours straight of just solid delivery, flat out, constant movement, constant lifting, bending, just it is relentless and it is tiring. And you know, normally we'd be going for lunch at maybe 10, 11ish, but we're going at 12, and I just get to a point in my lunch I'm just like, I'm not in the headspace to read something this big. So I'm really worried that it's going to take me longer than it should and longer than I want it to. So I definitely will try and utilize any spare time I have of an evening to try and like get some extra chapters done, because I'm just really concerned this is going to take me the best part of November, and I'm hoping that the fact that it's going to be so good is what's going to keep me going. The second thing I'm hoping that is going to encourage me to read it and keep me going, Uprooted by Naomi Novak. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I've always gone to read it, and I've just never had the chance. I don't know what it is about this book, but to me this is a book that has to be read autumn winter time, so anywhere from sort of November to February is really when I want to read this. So yeah, I want to get this done because I've been so looking forward to reading this book. It is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm gonna try and use this as a kind of bait. Like, if you finish that, you get to read this. And I really want to read this book, but I am just mindful, like realistically, how I just feel like this month is gonna go. I'm gonna try my damned hardest, but yeah, like I said, I'm so gonna utilize any spare time I get of an evening to try and just get any extra reading done, because I love that series so much and I've been enjoying it so much. That is it for today's video. I'm off now. Don't forget to smash that like button and show me your thumbs. Of course, comment below what are you reading for November and what do you think of my reads, what did you read in October. And if you're new, hi, hello, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. So much more to come and plenty for you to catch up on, don't you worry. I hope you had a great weekend and I hope you have a good week ahead of you. I will see you on Thursday with another reading vlog. I will see you then. Bye.